everybody, welcome back. I just wanted to make a quick little video here to show you an update on the video Angela posted, I guess it was yesterday. She made it a couple days ago, where she did a lot of the chop and drop on the Comfrey. Figure we'd show you how quick the Comfrey breaks down and starts to work back into the soil. Again, we're just 48 hours later from when she did a lot of that work, and we haven't done anything to manipulate it, to break it up. There hadn't been any rain, anything like that. So this is just, it oxidizes with the sun and the air. It starts breaking down. Now we could go through and put some mulch or something over the top of it, and it would slow it down a little bit. Probably maybe get a higher efficiency out of all the nutrients going into the ground. But then every step you add, it just kind of complicates the process, you know, versus just an easy chop drop and leave it be. So in the amount of matter that we can create and how fast it recovers, I don't feel like it's necessary, all the extra effort to try to get 100% of everything in the ground. You know, we can go with what we're doing here. Saves a lot of time, hit one area, move on, go to the next. So I'll show you here real quick the area where she was showing with everything she put down around the apple tree. And I'm going to show you the exact same spot and kind of from the same angle here. So we're looking underneath the same tree, and you can see some of it's still green, but it's drying out, breaking down quickly, in just a few more days, and it'll all be really working back in. So you could even come in here and step on a little bit, rustle it up, break it up as it dries up, water it in a little bit if you want. But again, you don't have to do anything to it, and you're going to get a good percentage of that working its way back into the soil every time it rains. So plants are looking great. Can't even really tell, you know, unless you really look for the cut stems, but even the stems she cut off of, they're still healthy. There, try to get in there. You can see new leaves coming up inside all the time. They'll spread out off of the root ball, get new growth there. So, but while I'm out here, I think I'm gonna also pick some apples. We've got a bunch of apples that are ready to go in. May take a quick walk around the garden here and see what else might be going on. Or, you know, we haven't done any real, pick up some apples, I'd sit down. We haven't done any real garden tours or anything. You know, we don't get to make it out here. You know, I guess we can. We could make the effort to make a video series on the garden, but I feel like we're in the garden so much that you kind of see as it goes along. So that's one of the reasons we haven't done kind of the common garden tour. But we can do a quick walk through here, some of the stuff. Now, remember, I'll show you the garden. This isn't your traditional bare dirt, straight row, nothing else in the garden. So you've seen the way we do it. There are things that people consider weeds. There is grass. Now we don't really like the Bermuda grass getting in there, but it doesn't bother us near as much as it used to. We'll come in, we'll cover and kill it off if we need to for certain crops. We'll keep it cut down. We'll do different things. We'll plant some things so heavy that it chokes it out. If you'll notice, it doesn't do well under the Comfrey. When it gets real large, it shades it out. So there are ways to control it, and we use different things. But you know, once the soil is super rich, healthy, nutrient-rich soil, and you do the different plantings, you do the cover crops when the ground's ready. You just try to farm the soil, as we talk about. The pressure from the other things like that you don't want, don't tend to have the same effect. Now, if it's a matter of crowding and you know, things that don't do well with pressure from other plants, then we'll kind of focus on taking care of that. But this is not a straight row not a weed in the garden type of garden back here. So just keep that in mind as you walk around. You're going to see grass, you're going to see things that look overgrown, you're going to see things in the garden that most people won't, but think of it as the food forest type of approach that it is. If you go into the forest or you go into a marginal zone, you're going to see lots of production and lots of growth, but you're going to see things also that you wouldn't consider part of a garden. So this is a different approach. It's what we're going after, and it's a thing that, you know, if you weren't there to tend it forever, those things would creep back in, and where they can flourish, they would. So we want to design this garden to where if we walked away from it someday, 10, 15 years along, it would be even that much more productive. It'll get to the point where it can support itself and just continue to get more and more productive without anybody needing to get in there and mess with it. So, but we still also try to accommodate putting in the annual plants for the spring, summer, fall garden of more traditional type plants that you associate with gardening. So it's kind of a balance, have as many annuals and support plants as possible while still leaving a little bit of room in a little bit of the context of the traditional sense of gardening. So that's why we have things in here, like we've got the squash, we've also got horseradish, tomatoes, goji berries, another apple tree, currants. And out here you can see on this berm, there's a little grass. That horseradish looking a little rough. We might trim it back. A little comfrey. And we got tomatoes that need to go in. I think she's picking some tomatoes. So Oklahoma summers, remember, we don't water this garden. What it gets is through rainfall. We don't do any watering out here at all. So these tomato plants are showing heat stress from the hot summer, the hot couple weeks we've had, and that's just the way it's going to be with it. If it had rained more in that time frame, then they probably wouldn't look as bad. But this is common this time of year for us. These tomato plants will really shoot up. They'll produce a lot, and then the foliage starts looking pretty rough. It'll start burning. You'll see a lot of browning. We do have some issues this year where we've missed a few plants getting them tied up good, and when they've produced heavy, they've broken over. And if I see one, I'll show you that. But so that's the biggest loss we've got out here. But as far as not watering, the looks of the plants with the browning and some of the wilting, that's the way we design this. We don't want to have to water it. So if it gets too bad, then we see that as a sign that we need to do something a little more to improve it and increase the drought tolerance. Not of these plants, because we're not designing this for these plants this year. They're just an indicator of the health of the soil and the garden and the design. If we need to alter it, we'll be thinking long term and what's going to make it better year after year. That one's not ready to go in, but that's a pretty good sized tomato right there. That's one of the, I believe that's the pink ponderosa. It's not pink yet. And there's one that's broke over, but you see, so heavy, but it's not wilting yet. So we may try to stand that up, tie it back up, or tie it up. Lots in there to pick them. We done?
Hey, picking tomatoes. Just getting started.
So we got a long ways to go, but we also got some plans tonight, so won't get to hang out here for long. A lot of pears, they're not ready yet. But we're ready for them, so hurry up. I guess you could always pick them green and cook them and make a cobbler or something.
Well, cook that one for sure. One fell off. And tried it and it's not there yet. Tastes fine, it's just a little hard. So I'll cook it and do something with it and let the others keep ripening up a little longer.
Alright, so here's purple tomatillos. And they're about 8 feet tall, almost 7 feet tall anyways. I'm standing, so I'm right 6 foot tall. You can see they're above me. I'm also on a little higher ground than them. This is on a slope, not a drastic slope, but they're probably 7.5 foot tall. So, and they're producing. They're on both sides, on the ends here. And you can see a little damage in some of the leaves, a lot of the leaves maybe to some people. But we're okay with that, as long as it doesn't become such an issue that it, you know, it looks like it's going to kill the plants, or, you know, here you can see these are volunteer ground cherries. We don't plant ground cherries anymore. They just come up and we kind of let them go where they come up. They have obvious flea beetle damage. You can see all the spots on there. But they're still high producers. Volunteer plants are usually the strongest ones, and they'll resist this little bit of pest pressure. So fine with that. We'll get the chickens turned in here soon, and they'll work on a lot of those insects anyways. Blackberries ready to be pruned back. They're way past their prime. They're done for the season. Peppers are looking good. A lot of jalapenos. Looks like we got a bunch about ready to pick. Good looking Comfrey plant. And the figs she showed you. It's time to start putting in some of the fall garden stuff. So we need to get after it. Peppers are just really starting to get going, so they're going to be in here for a while. Now, here's one of the things you find in our garden that you won't find in all of them. We've got mint. We use it as a ground cover. We'll come in and cut that back, hit it with a weed eater or whatever, you know, and it smells real good. It does help control any other grasses or anything growing. You see there's a little bit in it, but earlier in the season when it's really robust, it helps keep it from really getting started much, keep the grass from getting started. So you see we're right here adjacent to the garden. We have established Bermuda and other grasses. We don't have an edge, we don't have a border to delineate it. That gets more established as we bring the chickens in here with the portable fencing to work on the soil. They'll knock all this back. I mean, who says you can't just plant a garden in the middle of your yard even if the soil's good enough? Hazelnut, little ways to go. And we keep some wormwood right here by the entrance to the garden. You can brush your hands against it, through it. Get a little nice smell on you. It helps keep mosquitoes away from you. Also looks pretty. This gets pruned back, trimmed back to the ground, almost just about to the ground every year. So that's new growth every year. Alright, well I think this video's long enough. I kind of covered a little more than I was even expecting to. So just wanted to show you what we had going on here. Update on the chop and drop on the Comfrey, and had some questions. We use Bocking 14. It is non-invasive. It's a hybrid variety that the seeds are sterile. Has to be started from root cuttings. It's better for, it has a little shallower root system than Bocking 4. We have a pretty shallow bedrock, so we've just got to get down to the bedrock with the roots, and then it's not going to go any further. Also, it creates more mass than Bocking 4, so and that's what we want, is we want a lot of the leaf. So let me see if I can get around here without, you're not going to be able to see me good. I don't know, that saw you're hearing back there might be overriding the microphone here. But so we use Bocking 14. It's better for compost and fertilizing. Bocking 4 is better for animal fodder. So we don't just harvest and feed the chickens with it. Now we'll let them work on it when we've got it fenced into an area for them. But we want it more for the compost and fertilizer, the chop and drop stuff. So that's why we chose Bocking 14 instead of 4. 4 is right for other people, 14 is right for us. We don't want the true Russian Comfrey because it will spread through seed. So while we like Comfrey everywhere, we don't want a field of Comfrey. We want to keep it where we put it. So, but we will propagate it and put it in other places. So, all right. So, I guess, are you done getting what you're going to get for now?
I got to get peppers, but we also have to get ready. We have things to
Yep.
do.
So, all right. Well, we're going to get out of here. We got plans, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.